Hi, I'm going to open Home Designer 2016 since the poster asked about that particular version. Open that up. And the way the layout operates is the same in 2016, 2012, 2018. They're all mechanically the same. Of course, to do a layout, you need to have a plan file. And so I'm just going to create a simple test type plan here. Okay. Now, the first thing you do with the layout, the first thing you really should do is go File, Open Layout. And then you navigate to where your template files are located. Now I'm using Windows 10, which should normally be in Documents on a PC. And we want to find Pro 2016. There's 2016 data and templates. I don't see anything in here but textures. See, did I click on the right thing? Yeah, I guess I did. Okay, so there's no template for a layout. There are in some of the later versions. So we'll just go to File, New Layout. And it gives you a virtual blank piece of paper. And I recommend that you get to the Dimension tool and verify its size. And don't assume that you know what the size is. That's 18 by 24. So this is the largest size that Pro can create, 18 by 24. If you want something smaller, you're going to have to make it yourself. And the way you do that is you go to File, Print, Drawing Sheet Setup. Left click on that. Okay, you can see that 18 by 24 inch is selected in landscape. Now you can pick any other size that your print drivers will support, like tabloid, 11 by 20, 11 by 17, excuse me, letter, 8.5 by 11, legal by 8.5 by 14. Those are the most common sizes. And anything larger than 18 by 24 is not supported in Pro, and that's just a limitation that you get with the software. If you want to lose those limitations, you have to upgrade to Chief Architect Premiere. But let's say you didn't want an 18 by 24. So what I'd recommend is we'll take this and go File, Save As. We'll go into Templates. And we'll rename this letter. Okay, letter. And see, now that file is saved into Documents, in this case Pro 2016. I wonder if I opened the right folder before. I've got so much software on my computer. There it is, 2016 text. Okay, I don't see that file in there. I wonder why I can't find that. It should be there. Let me make sure that I'm going to the right place. I recently reconfigured my hard drive, so I'm going to go to my E drive. Check documents, and no, it's not in there. to be Windows documents. Pro 2016. Wonder why it's not. It should be in this template. Ah, here we go. Templates. This is what I was looking for. And of course, when you go new plan, you're opening a copy of this profile plan. There's a profile layout, which is 18 by 24. We've already verified that. Now, where's that file that I just created using the save as command? Should be alphabetic, so it should be up here under letter, or the L's. Well, I don't see it. Okay, I'm going to minimize that. We'll try this again. This is letter layout. Let me go over here to File, Open Recent Plans, and see if we're still. Templates, letter.layout. Okay, it says it's there. Maybe it's not alphabetically parsed yet. There's so many templates in here. It's textures. Where is my letter.layout? Okay, well, let's say you have a letter size printer and you want to use this as your default. Well, you need to go over to Edit, Preferences, and Folders, and well, okay, New Plans. Oh, this is not set up like Cheap Architect Premiere. Patterns folder. Well, I thought that there'd be a setting here, but perhaps not. Obviously not. I don't see anything for layouts. Okay. Well, I got this layout plan here now, but it's still 18 by 24 because it's just a copy of the 18 by 24. So I'm going to go over to File, Print, Drawing Sheet Setup, and we'll change this to Letter. And when I click OK, you'll notice there's a change in the white virtual piece of paper. Now, this is a letter-sized virtual piece of paper, 8.5 by 11. The blue line represents printable area supplied by your print drivers. So anything outside this blue line will not print. So you just have to be careful about that. Now you can see that the two-dimensional CAD here, the border and the title block didn't resize. So I'm just going to delete that, and we'll keep a copy of this title block area, and I'm going to carefully marquee select some of this stuff that just won't fit, and then we could resize it and fit it on this letter size sheet of paper. Sheet title we probably don't need. You could accommodate it if you want to, because these are all just two-dimensional items added by Chief Architect Incorporated. We're just going to downsize this so that it fits. I don't usually use this scale thing, so we can, but I do use the sheet number on most of my plans. I'm going to carefully marquee select that and move it up. The point here is I'm resizing this stuff so it'll fit on a letter size sheet of paper at the same size. Now I'm going to marquee select all of this. When you marquee select, by the way, you press the shift key left click and drag, and that creates a marquee, and it selects everything within the marquee. I'm going to place this title block right there. You can see it's still a little bit large, so we just resize it inside the border. Okay, that's fancy enough. Well, okay, I got the bottom needs to be moved up. All right, I'm going to marquee select it and move it up. I didn't notice that I went slightly over the blue lines below. Okay, it's close enough for my demonstration. Now, this date here is a macro, so, and it's programmed to whatever the current date is when you open this template. It's going to display today's date, and that's the date that I'm doing this video. You save a layout page for each printed page. So if I was going to do several pages on my after I got my template in, I wouldn't use this macro because it's not really applicable for Home Designer Pro. What I would do is get rid of this gobbledygook here and just put a numeral 1, and then you can change that to A2, 3, 4, 5, and as you go. So it didn't change the way it displays. It's just macros only work in cheap architect premieres, and they're not applicable to Pro. So that's the reason I did that. Okay, then you put your designer data, and that's you. So I'm just going to type in my own stuff here. My address. Okay, it's whatever's personal to yours. Look at that, it came in a little large. I'm going to click on that, go to the text style, and use custom text style, and we're going to make this a bit smaller. Let's make it 532. 532. See if that fits better. No, that didn't help. Oh, I see. It didn't take 532. I don't know why it didn't take, but yeah, that's better. So now it fits in there. And then I would leave this project blank because you're going to be using this template for different projects. I mean, if you're like me, if you don't do anything but some single project for your home, then you just put in the address of your house and so forth. Okay, so now this is ready to be a template. So again, I'm going to save as, and there's that 2016 data templates. Well, it says it's there in this window. I'm just going to overwrite the old one with the new one that I changed. Okay, now you're ready to roll with your template. And I'm going to turn off the grid. Now this doesn't print or send a layout. I don't need the living area. So I'm going to go up to plan defaults and turn that off. Okay, I've got dimensions. We'll add a couple of windows, or more than a couple of windows, and a couple of doors. Flip that door swing, and another door. Okay, and we'll give the room a name. doesn't matter what the name is for demonstration purposes. Now I've got this ready to send to layout. Now I'm going to File, Send to Layout. File, Send to Layout. And when you left click on that, you get, okay, I haven't saved the plan. And it's asking me to save the plan. Okay. Now the thing about layouts, let me show you how I've got my computer organized for plans. And that's I've got it on another hard drive. And I've got all my plans in here by version type. See, I do lots of work for different users and clients that use different kinds of Premiere or Home Designer. And this is Pro 2016, so I'll save it in here. And I'm going to create a new folder. Let's call that Test for this demonstration. And then open that folder. And okay. Now I can go back here and save this plan. Now I'm doing this because this is important about layouts. We're going to go to where I've made that folder. That's Archive Plans and Documents. Oh, Pro 2016, that's right. 12, there it is. And Test. I'm going to name this Test Plan. Maybe it's your project or some client's project. Okay. Now I've created a location for this plan. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to do a save as of this template. Save as. And we're going to save it not to the templates file. No. You always want to keep your layout and plan files together. So I'm going to go to the same location on my computer. Plans. Pro 2016. Test. I'm going to name this Test. It says no longer a template. It's specific to the plan I'm working on. Test-letter layout. So we open File Explorer and go over there to E, and I should be able to find this. And it's important, especially new users of Home Designer software, they don't pay any attention to file management, and it just causes no end of problems, especially once you start having layouts. They need to be in the same location for each project. I'm going to find Pro 2016, and there's my test, and there's a copy of the layout template, and there's my plan. Very important. Now I'm going to go, now that I've got that done, I'm going to go File, Send to Layout, left click, and this dialog is something that you should look at and see what's here. The only thing that's really pertinent is your scaling. For this view, see, this view is created in Home Designer Pro 2016 at a scale, a real world scale. That's 12'1" and 11'1", and those are the actual dimensions of this in the space, virtual space of the software. And we're going to scale it down so it'll fit on a letter size sheet of paper. So we'll click OK, and there it is. And this can be, has move handles, and you can move it around, and it has a label. I rarely ever use these labels. I like to create my own and add the scale. I'll just show you how to do that. I'm going to open the view here of this instance that's been set to layout, and go to the label tab and suppress the label. It turns off this first floor thing. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the text and create my own label down here. Then this is floor plan. Let's do it all caps. Okay, and I usually make the upper label. This is the way I do it. Don't have to do it this way. Make it bold and underlined, and then on the next line down, I'm going to put the scale, which is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot scale. Oops, spelling's not my forte, or typing. Here. But I don't want this the same size or bold or underlined, so I'm going to select that, unbold it, underline it, and change the scale to half the size. So now we've got, this is just more in alignment with drafting procedures. Okay, so there's my label for the drawing, and they usually go on the lower right hand side of the drawing. And there's a completed printed page. Now I could add more data here in the space around if I need to. But you want to keep this so where a guy can look at this. Let's change this to test project. Well, I put it all caps so it looks consistent. And you can move that and align that and so forth. Now, I could print this to a letter size sheet of paper, and it would print at 1/4 inch scale, provided when I go File, Print, I have a letter size. I've got save as PDF here. You can't assume that the software is going to pick up on that you've used a different size of paper. See here it says architectural 18 by 24. Well, you have to change it manually yourself to letter size, and then it'll print to scale. Generally speaking, if you want the scale to print out properly, and you can slap a ruler on it and get the dimensions at 1/4 inch scale, this has to be checked. And never assume that it's checked. Always look and see if it's checked before you print it. Otherwise, you'll waste ink and paper. And with letter size, you could probably print in color if you want. Now, I do a lot of larger format stuff, and it's always in black and white because it's so much cheaper to have large 3 foot by 4 foot paper. Well, for instance, a 3 foot by 4 foot piece of paper printed in black and white costs about $6 to have printed at the local blueprint shop. And if I took that same sheet in color, it would be $100 for one piece of paper. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I'm going to print to PDF. So you can select your printer up here. Here's the printer that I've got connected to this computer. And there's other print modes I can use, my Quicken or Snagit or PDF printer. I'm going to use the one that comes with the software, Save as PDF, just for our demonstration. Now I'm going to click on Save as PDF, and then it opens this dialog. I'm going to print it. Now again, I'm going to go to make sure that this is the folder. See, I'm looking at the dialog. I'm not just assuming that the computer has somehow read my mind and knows exactly what I want to do, or the software has done that. It doesn't do that. It's a mechanical device. You have to mechanically and manually control the thing to get a product. So I want to save this file into the test file folder that I created, and this name is fine. When I do a bunch of these prints, I'll start adding the date so that you can easily tell one from the other when you're printed. Now I'm going to click on Save, and it should open in my PDF. Here's the PDF file. Let me fit the page here. And if you were to print this to paper, well, you could put a ruler on there and read it at 1/4 inch scale, that's 12 feet 1 inches. But this will only print the scale if you make sure that all the correct manual settings, and there's not that many settings, but if you miss one of them, or you assume this is going to go to somewhere else on your hard drive, well, then you just wasted some time. So when you do this, be alert and look at each dialog and make sure that the dialogues are set properly for what you intend to have as a product. So this just opens, I've got this set up on my computer where it automatically opens when I create a PDF. Let's go to the test folder, and now you'll see there's the PDF file, there's the layout file, there's the plan file. So now, if I want to create page 2, the way I would do that would go to File, Save As, and we'll go to that. Make sure that we're in the Pro 2016 test. That's where my project folders and files are. I'm going to rename this dash page 2. See, this layout file and this layout file cannot have the same name, or they just override each other. So see, now this file is called test letter P2, and then to make it page 2, I'm going to click here and make this manually page 2 and delete this off of it, and we'll leave this here. We can change it later. I'm going to save, and then we'll go get the elevation camera and create a front elevation of this. And I'm going to add a terrain perimeter. I want this camera view outside the terrain perimeter, so I'm going to move the terrain perimeter inside the view of the camera. The whole point of me using a terrain perimeter is to cover up the foundation. I'm going to make the terrain perimeter thicker, so well, a little bit more thick, 42. Yeah, it's covered up the foundation. I'm going to zoom in here, and if I want to add dimensions, well, I'll add dimensions. We'll click on the dimension tools. I use this point-to-point dimension tool because it doesn't readily measure to 3D surfaces, but it creates its own points here. I can click on that point, then click on the dimension and set that to 9 feet. That's what the ceiling height is. And if you wanted to, you could extend it up here to, well, it did measure to that 3D surface, and like to the ridge. Different things for different purposes. I'm going to go over here and change, I'm going to go to dimension defaults and go primary format. Yeah. I'm going to make the smallest fraction 1/2 inch, and that should, make that like that. And if I wanted to get fancy on this, and that's up to you, I'm going to use this marker tool here and click right on that dimension point. See how it snapped to it? Well, okay. And we'll call this marker here FF for finished floor. And we'll let that snap to that point. And then I'm going to copy that using the transform replicate tool. Make one copy of the selected item, which is that marker. I'm going to move it straight up 9 feet. Oh, okay. 9 feet. Okay, and then I'll click on the text item and change that to ceiling. And then I'm going to take that one, and you don't have to do this, but I mean, I'm just showing you what can be done in an elevation view. I want one copy of this. I'm going to raise it 54 inches, the copy. And then that one, I'm going to open it up and change it to ridge. Okay? Makes everything fancier. Now, I think I'll turn my windows, and I think Pro can do this. I'm not sure. We'll go to doors, door labels, and turn them on in this view. There's a different display options here for plan view and each camera type. There's not just one display options. There's one for each view in Home Designer Pro. So I'm going to turn on Windows labels and door labels. There's window labels. Let's see if they'll turn on. Let me see if I can nudge this to work. We'll go over to the label tab and okay. You can't make them show in Pro. Never mind. They show when you click on it. You can see there's the label there, but it's not going to print. And like the roof up here is 812. So if you want to call that out, I'm going to click on the text tool over here and go 812. Another common drafting convention. Take that and copy it. That tells you the roof pitch, how tall the building is, not how wide. You don't normally put how wide in an elevation view. And then to finish this off, where's the text tools go? There they are. I'm going to click down here and say front. Front elevation. And again, I'm going to make this bold. Move it over there to the lower right. Now this is ready to send to layout. I'm going to send it to layout. And I know it'll fit at 1/4 inch scale because the plan view would fit at 1/4 inch scale. So I'm going to use this scale again and only send current screen. It'll save you a few clicks on this type of view. That just shows what's on this. It'll send to layout what's on the screen. And there it is. Now, once it's there, I can resize the edges of it, just for neatness sake. And I'm going to turn off this label. And I'm going to take this text item and then we'll just edit it. Then over there. Probably have to move it a little bit to the, yeah, we'll move it over a little because it's a longer verbiage there. Okay, now we did 2 pages. And again, I'm going to print this. Print. And again, I'm going to make sure that this is letter size and not 18 by 24 or some other size I'm not using. And that it's marked to scale. And since it's letter size, I'm going to print it in color. And we'll, again, print it. In this case, I'm going to go, this is the other PDF that I made. Here's page 2, and it's got a different file name, so they won't override each other. And there's the finished product there as a PDF. And then I can go over here and file, I'm sorry, click on print, and then we'll choose my printer this time, and then I could print it to the paper. Uh, and again, depending on what you print, your own print dialogues, make sure that it's selected to be at scale. Now this one doesn't show a scale, but some of these Adobe applications can fit to paper. Well, that'll ruin the scale if you use that setting, or if you do anything other than print it to scale. Now in this case, apparently it's just going to be at scale, and I'm not going to print it. I just wanted to show you that once it's to a PDF, then you can print it to paper, and if you do, okay, here we go. I've got none selected here. Print handling and scale is selected. And if you choose this, your scaling won't be true. If you use any of these other settings, your scaling will be lost. And so don't go there. Don't waste the paper and ink. Make sure that it's set to print to scale, and then print to scale. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial. I hope it helps you get oriented and started. Most people don't have 18 by 24 inch paper, so you're going to need to know how to resize a layout template. And so I thought I would take the time to kind of run through the steps necessary to get a product in terms of printing. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Matter of fact, this is Thanksgiving Day 2018, and I hope you're having a nice Thanksgiving.